Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be starting up I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams into the best teams possible for MyTeam Unlimited and or competitive play. I did this series for like 25 episodes or something like that last year, and y'all seem to really enjoy it, so I decided to bring it back. We'll be uploading every single Saturday unless other circumstances get in the way, but every single week it will be on Saturday. Pretty much every single episode. There may be an episode that gets released on Friday or Sunday for whatever reason, but it will basically always be on Saturday. I'll be sending out tweets Friday afternoon or evening about this series that you'll want to reply to if you want to have a chance to be involved in this series. So make sure you go follow me on Twitter and be on the lookout for those tweets on Friday night. Yeah, before we hop into it, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,500 subscriber mark. But yeah, let's hop into it and start building some teams. So first team today comes in from my boy Brady. He's got like 20K and he likes to get up a bunch of threes and play defense. So looking at his squad, he's got Derrick Rose, which is like probably the best point guard in the game. I don't think it's like a huge debate. Derrick Rose is the best point guard in the game. Brad Beal is a super solid shooter. Kawhi is obviously great. Glenn Robinson super good. And then Artis Gilmore is a good interior big. Off the bench, he's got Dame Lillard, Ray Allen, Peja, Jamal Mashburn, and Mitchell Robinson. So for me personally, looking at this squad, the first thing I would do is sell these last two guys, Lauri Markkanen and Jerry Stackhouse. You're not playing them. They're not in your 10-man rotation. Drop them and just make that extra MT, especially with only like 20K MT. You sell those two cards, you're looking at 30K MT. So the next thing that I would do after I sell those two guys is probably sell Damian Lillard as well. As much as I like Damian Lillard, I think upgrading him to Fred VanVleet is a significant upgrade because Fred VanVleet has more defensive ability. He's dribbles better. He's not going to be dunking like Damian Lillard, but besides that, I feel like overall he is a better card. His defensive ability really helps him out and makes your team a lot better. So I would definitely probably sell Damian Lillard, pick up Fred VanVleet. That's going to cost you, after selling Dame, buying VanVleet, 5,000 to 7,000 MT, maybe a little bit more, but you're still going to have over 20,000 MT left. At that point, probably sell Ray Allen, pick up Cliff Hagan. Cliff Hagan is the best shooting guard that you could have. He's better than both Bradley Beal and Ray Allen because he's a really solid defender with a great jump shot as well. So I think he gives you most of what Ray Allen gives you on the offensive end with more defense. And again, I think defense is very, very crucial. So I would probably buy Cliff Hagan, put him at the starting 2, and bring Bradley Beal off the bench at your 2 and sell Ray Allen. Next, Peja Stojakovic, I would look to replace. You may not want to replace Peja. Peja can stay, but Jamal Mashburn I definitely would replace. I'd sell this card, pick up Darius Miles. Darius Miles is a huge upgrade over Peja Stojakovic. I mean, he's an upgrade over Peja too, I think, but I mean, he's an upgrade over Jamal Mashburn. Has a better jumper. He's got way better stats. Just a much better card than Jamal Mashburn. So I would definitely pick up Darius Miles to play that backup 4 for you. And I think if you make those upgrades, you pick up the Cliff Hagan, you pick up Fred VanVleet, and then pick up Darius Miles and sell these last two guys on your bench, you're going to have a similar amount of MT, maybe a little bit less, but for the most part, you'll have a very similar amount of MT, and your team will be upgraded. And then start working towards some token cards, guys like Serge Ibaka at the center position. Kyrie is your backup point guard, which will allow you maybe sell Fred VanVleet, things like that most players have as players in their lineup. Start working toward those guys so that you can start giving yourself a little bit more versatility. In terms of the players that you use that are reward players and stuff like that to sell your MT, or not sell your MT, but sell players and make more MT. So next team today comes in from Yua. He runs 5 ice, pick and pop. 160K MT, plays on current. So playing on current next, I'll be honest, that doesn't probably change much this year just because of the way the game is. Current versus next, it's not that huge of a difference. Point guard wise, you're running the same 2 point guards as me right now, Kyrie and Fred VanVleet, so I definitely support that just because those guys are, well, budget point guard and Fred VanVleet, free option, and Kyrie Irving. A lot of people don't have the MT for a guy like Derrick Rose and Dikembe and yada yada yada. Most people don't, and that's totally cool. So I like your point guard uses. These are really two very solid point guards. Mitch Richmond and Otis Birdsong, again, super solid shooting guards. I don't have any problems with that. Glenn Robinson, Kawhi, the exact same thing. Gus Gerard, Darius Miles, yet again. You're looking at your whole team. Your center position is probably the 2 centers that I will be running once I get to Dikembe, which I'm trying to get to Dikembe today. I haven't gotten to Dikembe yet. In fact, in a video y'all will see later today, I'm starting up another series that y'all will see me play against Dikembe without him, and y'all see how that goes. But that's beside the point. Looking at this squad, there's not a serious hole. Like, not a single serious hole when I look at your team. You could probably maybe look to upgrade. I mean, with a team like this, you could almost look to get Derrick Rose. because like you could sell Fred VanVleet and pick up Derrick Rose. But for me personally, I don't think you need to do that. In all honesty, when I see a team like this that is very well rounded in what you have, and you have a decent amount of MT, save that MT so for next week's content, because you don't have any significant holes on your team. I mean, there might be small upgrades you could make. A badge Julius Erving or Cliff Hagan might be a little bit of an upgrade over Otis Birdsong, but not much. I mean, there's not a ton you have to do with this squad to upgrade it. You could potentially go buy a Shaq, for example, to replace Serge Ibaka. He'd be an upgrade, but he's not a necessary upgrade. Your center is just fine with backups as Serge Ibaka. I don't think you have to make any upgrades in this team, and so for that reason, I'm just going to say hold on to your MT and see what we get next week. Next team today comes in from my boy Trent. He's getting Draymond to start, and Pascal will be playing for Wiggins on the bench. 120 KMT. He's thinking about saving from Mutombo. So looking at your squad, I don't know if saving from Mutombo is the best idea right now. I know this guy, he's a pretty good player, and I like the fact that he's running Darius Miles. I like your starting lineup for the large majority of the team. And Boucher off the bench is a great budget center as well. So once you pick up Draymond, which you're saying you're getting, make sure you also Evo TJ Warren, just simply because Evoing TJ Warren will allow you to sell Pascal Siakam, make a little bit more MT. You can play TJ Warren at the backup 3 and Darius Miles at the backup 4. Make sure you Evo those cards for TJ Warren, because it's really not that hard, and you can basically just do it alongside of getting Draymond. So I definitely do that. And then you sell Pascal, put Draymond at the 4, TJ Warren at the backup 3, Darius Miles at the backup 4. At that point, you're still around 125 KMT, I'd say. Probably sell Dame, pick up Fred VanVleet. I know I recommended that for this squad, and I'm going to recommend it for this team as well, because Fred VanVleet is a really, really, really good budget point guard. And then at the shooting guard position, I do the same thing that I said with that other team as well. Pick up Cliff Hagan, slide him at the starting 2, bring Bradley Beal to the bench. You make those 2 upgrades, you're not going to spend a lot of MT. You sell LaMelo, sell Dame, sell Pascal. You pick up those 2 cards as well as Draymond and TJ Warren. Your team's going to be looking better, and you're going to be about the same amount of MT. You're really not going to be changing your MT about much. And at that point, you have a better squad, and you can save your MT for a center, for example, to replace Chris Boucher at some point. But for right now, I probably wouldn't focus too much on Dikembe, because quite simply, Dikembe is just, he's really, really expensive. He's a great card, but he's really expensive. So looking at this team, which is a bit of a budget squad, I probably would save the MT for now and see what options we get over the next week or 2, especially just so early in the game. Next team today comes in from Javier. He's got Ami Kawhi, not the free agent. He's got 120K MT. He's thinking about getting D Rose, and he's got Derek Jones. So I will just say you can use 2kdb.net. It's a better website for lineups and stuff like that than this might be 2K MT Central or MTDB. I'm not even entirely sure, but I would definitely use 2kdb because it's a much more upgraded, better website for this type of thing. But looking at this team immediately, I see Ron Boone, Devontae Graham, Luka. Okay, so definitely like Ron Boone, like Luka, like Kawhi. Derek Jones is solid. Serge Ibaka is really good. And then bench kind of needs some work. Like, some of these guys are solid players, but they definitely does need some work. So first thing I would probably look to do is save your next tokens, because you already got Serge Ibaka, which means you're either 60 tokens or less than 60 tokens from Kyrie. So I might play some draft mode, play a 10-0 of draft mode, or however many UNs you can get. Pick up that Kyrie Irving and replace Devontae Graham with him. That will make your team better without spending any MT. The next thing I would do is I would, again, sell LaMelo Ball and pick up probably Cliff Hagan. If you want more of a shooter, you could pick up Bradley Beal, but I'd probably pick up Cliff Hagan just because I love the fact that he can play defense as well. So I think that would be a good upgrade as well, is picking up that Cliff Hagan for LaMelo. Then Tim Hardaway Jr., he's not bad. I'm not going to say you have to remove him. I would probably, with 120k MT, you probably want to save some MT. So I'm fine with keeping Tim Hardaway Jr. here. I would move Derek Jones Jr. to the bench, to the backup 4, and bring in a guy like Darius Miles to start at the 4, because I think that Darius Miles is just a super good all-around card. Also, if you could get Glenn Robinson, if you get lucky from the draft, that would be huge as well. You could put Glenn Robinson at the 4 and bring Derek Jones Jr. to backup 3 and Darius Miles to the backup 4. But for the time being, just put Miles at your starting 4 and DJJ as the backup 4. And then finally, at the backup center, you could play Dario Saric there. You could look to pick up a guy like Dwight Howard, I think, who's a really good interior big to combat some of the better interior bigs in the game. The Wilts, the Dwights, the Wilts, the Shaqs, the Kembes of the world, and Dwight gives you the best option of countering those guys, I think, for free, or for much cheaper, I should say. So you could do something like that. You could keep Horford if you want your stretch big. You could even sell Horford and plug in a guy like, again, Saric or Chris Boucher or even a Lauri Markkanen, one of those guys at the backup center if you wanted to. You have some options there that will save you some MT. And then at that point, save the rest of your MT. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with that team. Next team today comes in from my boy Ozzy. He's got 14K MT, 3 hunts, and PNR. So Ozzy, I like the 2s. I like the 3s. The 4s, I don't hate Dwight and Dikembe. I know you like to run pick and roll with your point guard and your center, and you can dribble, so I don't mind the non-shooting 4s either. What I will say is I'd probably just sell this Duncan Robinson. Sell anything that you're not using in your 10-man to make some MT. And then I think having one stretch big would be a good thing. I'm not sure how far away along you are on tokens, but I would definitely try to get yourself a Serge Ibaka in the token market. If you could do that, that will be definitely a nice thing to have on this squad. Just to give you a little more versatility if somebody's doing a really good job of paint sitting on you and containing your offense because you have 2 non-shooting centers. But for the time being, I definitely would look to do that. But I think your point guards are fine. Boone and Kemba are really nice. You could sell Kemba, pick up Fred VanVleet. It'd be a close to even MT swap. And I think VanVleet's better. He definitely gives you better defense. But again, that one's up to you. I know you love to dribble, and Kemba's a great dribbling point guard. So that one's kind of up to you. I'd probably sell Kemba and pick up VanVleet because he's also a solid dribbler. But that one, again, up to you. Brad Beal and Birdsong, not worried about it. I'm fine with leaving that squad. That the way it is. You could sell Brad Beal, pick up Hagan if you want to. If you don't want to, totally understand. It doesn't have to be done. Kawhi and Marcus Johnson. Again, you're using a free card at the backup. Kawhi is super good. No issues with that. Page and Boucher. If you're gonna run, I wouldn't run Boucher at the back of 4. I think athletically he's just not quite it. If I was going to run Boucher, I would probably just run him as one of your last 3 in case you need a stretch big until you get Serge Ibaka, and then pick up a guy like Darius Miles. And I might even sell Page and replace him with Darius Miles because I think Darius Miles is a much better card. And then I'd also make sure you use your draft tokens or draft tickets. Try to pick up Glenn Robinson if possible. I think that would be nice to get for your squad as well. But I don't think you have to change anything. But definitely I would find a place for Darius Miles and then consider picking up Fred VanVleet, Cliff Hagan, Serge Ibaka once you get to that amethyst token market, that type of thing. Second to last team today comes in from Boo Gaming. He's got 150 KMT. Most of his guys have a few added badges, and then his coach is Steve Nash. He likes to 5-out, needs a shooting center. So you have 2 shooting centers, Dikembe, Draymond Green. I don't like Draymond that much at the for whatever reason, I'm just not the biggest fan of Draymond at the center this year. I just think that with the way that paint meshing is, despite the fact that Draymond's a good defender, I just think he's undersized. He's not going to rebound as well as for example, if you go up against a Shaq or a Dwight or even a Serge Ibaka off the bench, you're probably going to struggle a little bit with Draymond because he's just not quite as big as those guys, so he might struggle on the boards. Point guards wise, Walt Frazier's an interesting option to me because most people aren't to the pink diamond token market yet, and the thing about him is his jump shot's just not very good. He's not a bad card, really good defender. He's got great size. The point guard position, his jumper's questionable to me, but if you like the card, feel free to keep running him, have success with him, then go for it. I like Fred VanVleet at the backup. You got 150 KMT, you said. I would probably look to start Glenn Robinson over to Tom Chambers. I don't like this Tom Chambers card very much. What I would probably do is slide Draymond to the backup 4, start Glenn Robinson at your 4, and then pick up Serge Ibaka since I know you're clearly already past the amethyst token market. Definitely look to pick up Serge Ibaka from the amethyst token market to play that backup center for you. And then with Hagan and LaMelo at the 2s, you could also potentially look to sell LaMelo, pick up a guy like Bradley Beal, or you can just keep LaMelo the way he is. You could even sell Fred VanVleet and look to pick up Derrick Rose. I probably wouldn't go that route, but you could. But yeah, I think the biggest upgrades to make would definitely be sliding Draymond to the back of 4, starting Glenn Robinson at the 4, and picking up a guy like Serge Ibaka at the back of 5. Otherwise, I think you're looking good. Team is definitely very, very solid. I like the fact that you have Dikembe, and I'm jealous because I want the card as well. But final team today comes in from Yenners. He's got 206 KMT, likes to pick and roll, pick and pop 300. So clearly that sounds like he likes to dribble with his point guard, so Kyrie is the perfect option for you because Kyrie is a great dribbler. And my whole thing with Trae Young at this point, I just think he's too small. I know defense is really good, but he's just struggles. And same thing with Donovan Mitchell. They're both just too small and not good enough defensively, I feel like, to play at this point. So with 206 KMT, I'm going to recommend the same point guard to you that I recommended to basically everybody this video, which is Fred VanVleet. Then at the shooting guard position, I'm going to recommend the same player that I've recommended to everybody, which is Cliff Hagan. I think those 2 guys are huge budget players who are really good, can compete at the top level with the best cards in the game, and don't cost you a lot of MT. So those are definitely 2 guys that I would look to pick up. Next, you have 67 tokens. You already have Kyrie Irving, so that means you're like less than 100 tokens away from the pink diamond token board, and that means you also get tokens decently. So I would definitely look to potentially save, for example, if you get I'm not entirely sure, but probably if you can get to the 150 tokens within the next few days, pick up Mitch Richmond. Because Mitch Richmond at the starting 2, Cliff Hagan at the backup 2 makes your 2s way better. I was playing Marquez Johnson as well. I prefer Cliff Hagan to him, and my 2s are now Mitch Richmond and sorry, I have the hiccups. Mitch Richmond and Cliff Hagan. I think that'd be a huge upgrade over Marquez Johnson and Donovan Mitchell. For Evan Lee, it's going to be a huge upgrade over Trae Young. Glenn Robinson, TJ Warren, Gus Gerard, Draymond Green, totally cool. Serge Ibaka and Mitchell Robinson, again, totally cool with that because it gives you a defensive big center who can rebound the ball, and then a pick and pop center who also is a very decent defender as well. So I think with your team, you're running a lot of rewards cards, but I think it would definitely be smart to pick up a guy like Fred VanVleet who can 3-hunt the ball a little bit, and then pick up Cliff Hagan as well. So those 2 guys are not going to cost you a lot of MT, not going to take away from your MT a lot, and you will notice a big upgrade to your squad without using all your MT. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.